Welcome to Never Shut Up. It's your boy Marcellus, Wiley gunned up, feeling amazing right now, full of this ammo. Didn't have the best day of eating yesterday, but still feeling great today because we're going to have a great show. Respect to all you guys so far who have signed up for the Wiley's World membership. Love you guys on YouTube. The rest of you, catch up to your homies and let's get this. But you know us, we start off every show with what's up with that dude? Let me tell you what's up with that dude. I dropped a tear yesterday, y'all. Yep, a little thug tear. I was riding in the car. You know, I got the Tesla with the 3 rows, so it's just too many damn opportunities for kids to be in them seats, and they all are full. Every seat is filled in my damn car. Seats a mess. Chips, Tostitos everywhere. I got crunchy rollers, granola bar crumbs. I'm just surprised it's not an ant farm in there. It's really a mess. I laugh every time. But I'm riding and I'm riding on the freeway and my daughter literally says this, and watch where I go with this. She says, "Daddy, what's your favorite animal?" And I was like, "Oh," I said, "Cheetah." And she was like, "Oh, mine is a ladybug." And that's when the tear came. Now, y'all don't know why I'm crying right now. And she didn't even notice because I was in front of her. But I said, "Your favorite animal is a ladybug?" She said, "Yeah, I like them and I like their colors and they even have little spots on them. They're beautiful." Now, my daughter is 4 years old. She didn't meet her grandmother, my mother, who passed away in 2005. My mother famously loved ladybugs. That was their thing. Big old 6'1", 250-pound beautiful woman, my mama, loved little ladybugs. And it was crazy because that's not a conversation we have with our kids about what their grandmother, who's in the sky, loved. But then randomly, just on this day, she just reminded me of that connection. I just wanted to have that story get out because it just reinforces what legacy is and how we're all connected, especially in that family tree. So even though they never saw each other, still got that connection. Other than that, I stopped crying, got into the backyard. Had to go to my boy who's doing his little basketball lessons, trying to get his game right. He got to work on his handles. His handles are good physically, but mentally, he's starting to slow down a little bit, not trusting his handles like he should. So we tightened that up. That was fun. We played a little game of knockout together. I think he beat me. Yeah, he got a better shot than me right now already. 7 years old, already destroying me. My daughter was getting her hair braided. Yeah, another daughter. 5 hours straight of some Penny on Good Times Hood Snoop video, getting her hair braided for 5. She is 4 years old and getting her hair braided for 5 hours. I was like, this is some hood shit right here. This is just hilarious to me. But she stood still. She was smiling for the most part. She melted down that last hour, too tired. But God, what can you do in this world with a kid without an iPad? And it wasn't us. It was nothing but that damn iPad. She was going from Peppa Pig to just going to all of her shows, and she was just loving life while she was sitting there with that Snoop tilt, getting her hair braided. So that was my day. All right, y'all. Now let's get into this show right now because, man, y'all thought I had to shed a tear. What about homeboy who got choked unconscious by Nate Diaz? Wonder if he shed a tear as well. Now let's talk through the story. Nate Diaz was charged with second-degree battery, and the New Orleans Police Department had to issue a warrant for his arrest. He was filmed seemingly, this is that word again, allegedly, seemingly. If that ain't Nate Diaz choking that damn dude out, who the hell is it, right? But we're going to see the video of him getting somebody. They got the little arrow on it, the TMZ arrow on him, and next thing you know, he's asleep. Now, you're going against a black belt in jiu-jitsu in Nate Diaz. So whoever you are, homeboy, night. So we saw Nate Diaz, who was out there in New Orleans supporting his teammate Chris Avila, who was fighting at that Misfits boxing event, where Nate Diaz also got into an altercation because the dude behind him was calling him pussy the whole time. Then Nate Diaz, as Nate Diaz does, has to defend himself, has to respond, and they had a little altercation there as well. Let me just get this report out. At about 2:10 a.m., I can hear Herm Edwards somewhere right now. Told you, after midnight, nothing good happened, right? At 2:10 a.m., on April 22nd on Bourbon Street. All right, now y'all just done made Herm Edwards just Bourbon Street, 2:10 in the morning. What you expect to happen, right? The officers and supervisors are alert to a larger altercation, blah, blah, blah. Officers able to disperse the crowd, saw a white male subject. Damn, he laying there so lumped, they called him a subject. He just sitting there slumped up, unconscious. Short time later, wakes up, and then everybody's like, this was because of Nate Diaz. He had blood coming from the back of his head, so EMS was summoned to render it. Lawsuits coming, basically. All right, after an investigation, they have all of this. They are not arresting Nate Diaz of yet, even though there's an arrest warrant for him. He's not in custody. Okay, now Nate Diaz, we just saw him fighting last year. Tony Ferguson, we saw that fight. He was supposed to fight Jake Paul next in a boxing match. Huge boxing match. Why? Because of the attention that Jake Paul brings and because of the legitimacy you get when you go against Nate Diaz. But this just got me all over the place because I am like y'all. I love me some Nate Diaz, right? Like, he's just lovable, like sympathetic, but he's a bully, but he's not. He's really like the ultimate defender. Like, he's Pigpen, as I call him. Always in the midst of some dust, either kicking it up himself or just defending the moment, defending his honor, and still kicking up dust, right? That's who Nate Diaz is, and he's getting this collective pass from everybody because we love the Diaz family and the brothers. We love his story, rags to riches, but had to fight all the way through it. But at the same time, he's getting a bigger pass than maybe anybody in sports history. Gronk. But Gronk never did anything illegal, but Gronk was getting that frat boy pass. So, like, I can act any way I want to, and y'all not going to criticize. But then some athletes out there, they don't get no leash, no pass at all. But Nate Diaz is something about the dude that you can just look in his eyes, and he seems like a guy who is at peace and ready for war. Like, just straight up. Like, every time I see that dude, I'm like, yo, I love him. Like, if I saw him, I'll walk up to him, kind of on some man crush stuff, like, yo, Nate Diaz, respect. But at the same time, I ain't trusting that moment because anything can happen. He is a firecracker, always ready to pop. So interesting to see what comes from this because obviously I don't wish any ill on Nate Diaz and hopefully he doesn't have to do jail time. But at the same time, I believe in accountability. And we did see him on TV, on camera, allegedly choking the dude out. Coming up next on Never Shut Up, Ime Udoka has landed on his feet. Yes, he is now the new head coach of the Houston Rockets. All right, conversation about is he the coach for the job and is he the man for the job? Y'all know where we going with this. Next on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reach TV. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. It's your boy Marcellus Wiley. Thank you guys who are Wiley's World members. And for you who are not, come on, what you doing? But let's talk about what's going on in the NBA where Ime Udoka has landed on his feet in Houston, H-Town, man. And he is now the head coach of the Houston Rockets, right? Oh, man, I love it when it comes true. Some of those old adages, this too shall pass. Because remember, there was a time when you were turning on TV watching sports and you were like, damn, they are going in on Ime Udoka. And every day it seemed like a different revelation. Every day it seemed like a new level to the story. But let's talk about it in its entirety. All right, so we know who he is. He was the former Celtics head coach who were the NBA Finals. Remember, they were against Golden State Warriors, went to 6, ended up losing. But he got suspended for this season after the disclosure of an inappropriate relationship with a female Celtics employee. Now, we can dive deep into that rabbit hole, and I don't know if what's true from false, but basically she was married, and then she was married to somebody in the organization, and then he messed with her, and then she didn't really like it, or she just tried to cover it up because of her relationship, and she was married, whatever. And then other names came out. I don't know true from false, but y'all inform me in the comments. But basically, he couldn't coach because of all of that went down. Now, in Houston, he replaces Steven Silas, who was fired after 3 seasons. He had to get fired because it was not pretty in Houston. Rockets had the worst record in the previous 2 years, and this year they finished tied with the Spurs. You know that's bad. For the second worst record this season. So they got a lottery pick in this draft, so they're going to get another special talent. Another special talent that goes with the special talents or what they already have on the roster, right? So they got Jabari Smith, we know, but Jalen Green is the dude. And those two, along with this other pick, all right, Udoka's there. We got something to go with. Now, who is Udoka? Because a lot of people were caught off guard when he first got in trouble. Like, damn, what's going on with dude? Like, what kind of coach acts like that? And then people found out, oh, he's a former player who's a coach. Interesting. And that's where we're going to dive into that lane right there. But first, he played 7 years in the NBA. He wasn't drafted. He played professionally in Europe as well. Played for Popovich. Had a little stint with the Lakers, Knicks, Trailblazers, etc. Right? And we also know he was there with the 76ers and the Nets before being hired to the Celtics to replace Brad Stevens, who went upstairs to be around that lady that Udoka was hollering at. You get my point. So now, Udoka, my man. All right, let's talk about the former player who has to now translate who he is as a person to a different profession, right? No longer the athletic physical demonstration of your greatness. No longer just making jump shots, getting rebounds, going out there getting steals and assists. Now you actually got to go somewhere and show other attributes of your greatness, which includes some of the things you did on the court. Your leadership, right? Talking to the guys, getting them inspired, etc. So I'm asking the question of, is Udoka the coach for the Rockets, the right guy? Yeah. But is he the right man for the Houston Rockets? Has he learned from his mistakes? And what were his mistakes? His mistakes weren't the fact that he was a man who tried to holler at a woman. Here's the first mistake. You're hollering at somebody that's married. That works where you work. That is married to somebody that also works where you work. Now, ain't nobody in the world should be that damn thirsty, right? That's already that's strike 1, 2, and 3. Because we get it. It goes down at the workplace because you're there as much as you're anywhere. So that's why all these workplace entanglements happen. Don't act stupid, y'all. Y'all know y'all at the water cooler a little too damn long because she a little too damn pretty for your liking. So you now loving it. So that's how that goes. We ain't stupid. But you got to have discipline. And that's one thing that I know the former player in me had to learn. There's a different discipline in the real world than it is in the real locker room or on the real field. Let me give you some examples. So, when I used to see a girl when I was active and I was a player, I am going to speak to her with a confidence that I don't think that was spread around the room. I had a different confidence because I knew I was young, I knew I was in the limelight, and I knew I had $5. So I never would ever feel that I got dissed, even if she said no. I was just like, oh, I'm just not the one for her. I'm not her type. I always had this, okay, it's either me or it's a her problem. I had that mindset, right? That got me a lot of good times, and it got me in trouble a couple times. But when you're an athlete, you're in the limelight, they will take care of you. They will slap you on the wrist. They'll pull you behind closed doors and talk to you, but you're still allowed to participate. Why? Because ultimately, you haven't disturbed why you're there in the first place. Now, when you stop making tackles, touchdowns, and sacks, oh, all that stuff we pulled you over for and talked about, that's the problem now. Before, it wasn't a problem. It's about your production. Athletes learn this the hard way, even though we're told it the easy way, right? We're told, oh, in the real world, it doesn't act like that. It doesn't go down like that. So you get in the real world, you're a Udoka, and you still got that in you. You still kind of got that training in you like, yo, I'm hollering. She cool with it or she not. Whatever. I can do what I do. But you can't do that when you get in the real world because these walls are different. They talk and they're envious and some of them are jealous and most of them are just going to hold you to a different accountability than it is in the locker room. Like we're the judge, jury in the locker room, right? We're the ones who sit there and say, man, that ain't right. That ain't cool. Don't do that. But in the real world, that person is not your teammate. They are truly trying to take your job. They are truly not there with your best interest in terms of a team concept. It's like everybody for themselves. Udoka learned that the hard way. My question is he really going to be different? I know he's going to be on his best behavior, but it's going to be a problem out there, especially if they mess around and get James Harden again. That's going to be a squad, one. Two, if you've ever been to Houston, you know that the strip clubs are as frequent as the convenience stores. Like, you be like, damn it, you can get Cheetos and you can holler at her at Cheetahs in the same block that quick. That's an issue there. But also, man, you remember that racist coach, Mark Taylor and Rowe? They were talking about them red bones. Well, they down there in Houston as well. So it's going to be interesting to see Udoka, especially in success, because he's going to be on his best behavior from hello. We get it. And I don't even think he's going to have an issue with this, because who going to lose their entire career twice? You ain't going through that again, right? So hopefully he's on his best behavior, and hopefully all that former player I can holler at whoever I want to holler at, because I'm guilty of the same damn thing, is behind him. And now he can get to where he should be, which is in that Coach of the Year conversation, because he's that type of coach. Coming up next on Never Shut Up, oh, my man Aaron Rodgers finally got his wishes to come true. He is a New York football Jet. Let's see what the Jets are getting in Aaron Rodgers, what he's getting from the Jets, and what is left back in legacy in Green Bay. Man, we got a lot to talk about next on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reach TV. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. It's your boy Marcellus. Wiley, thanking you guys for Wiley World membership. Keep it going. If you're not one, check it out. All right, Aaron Rodgers is in the building. Woo! But a different building. He's in New York now as a Jet, no longer a Packer. Boy, got some cojones. I would not mess with my legacy. 18 years where I have outperformed Brett Favre. That's a conversation. It's close, but you got to give the nod to Aaron Rodgers, even though he's not as endeared in Green Bay as Brett Favre. But still, to let all of that go. Now, you know what the people of Green Bay have already done. They've already defaced and changed the mural downtown of Aaron Rodgers. He's no longer the king of the North. Block fans, I know how y'all flip. See, this is funny about fans. And then they get mad at athletes, but the athletes like, dog, we know how this ends. This is conditional love. This is not unconditional love. I leave because you left your job before. I can't leave my job. And then when you left your job, did IBM just rip up everything in your resume and burn your desk? No. But y'all burn these athletes' jerseys that y'all paid y'all hard-earned money for. It's just hilarious. So the athletes know y'all don't really love them to the fullest, even though you say that every time you get their autographs. So Aaron Rodgers said, forget all that. Let me not only forget my legacy in Green Bay and let Brett Favre have that, but let me do what Brett Favre did and continue my legacy in New York as a Jet. Now, going to the Jets, a lot is going to be different there. Obviously, they're going to be a better team. Let's just cut the chart. Like, let's not lie to ourselves. They're going to be a better team. I already saw the Vegas odds go from 30-1 to 14-1. Those are the best odds for the Jets in like 2 decades. Let's be real. So, what happens? Let's just go beat by beat. One, Zach Wilson. They've been telling you they've been wanting to groom you, right? Even though you're number 2 overall pick. I'm like, groom him? Shit, he should come in there well manicured already. What do you mean groom him? But He's now going to be on that bench getting those splinters from that wood because there's not a shot in hell unless Aaron Rodgers gets hurt that Zach Wilson is going to play. And let me tell you how that feels. That feels like shit. That is the worst. Zach Wilson knows he can throw 99-yard bombs all practice long for the entire season. And guess what coach is going to be like? Yeah, man, looking good, improving. Like Puffy on them Uber One commercials, just signing stuff, not even looking at it, like whatever. Like that's how coach gonna be when he evaluates Zach Wilson. Not even looking at what he's doing. Like, yeah, he look all right, he getting better. Who cares? And that's a tough place to be. Not that tough though. He got $35 million contract rookie deal, so you're good. But they're gonna groom you now. You better pay attention to Aaron Rodgers, because if not, bro, when you get your next chance, and you will get another chance, you better be ready. All right, so that's the first thing that changes, all right? We already see the depth chart. Second thing that's going to happen is this team is going to feel that energy. Like it's just transmitted. It's just transferred. All of a sudden, you just walk in the building, you just got a little more of this in you. And I don't know why, because yesterday you were going 100%, you thought, in the workouts. But now Aaron Rodgers in the building, shoot. You're going to find 101% somehow, some way. So you feel that energy, even if it's just mental and it's not really materializing. You feel something. Next, you're going to see how everything comes together, because there was really one reason Aaron Rodgers went to the New York Jets. Y'all know that reason, right? Y'all know it, right? It's one person, too. One reason, one person. Nathaniel Hackett. He's now the offensive coordinator there with the Jets, who's the same coordinator that Aaron Rodgers had in, 2019 to 2021, where he threw 111 touchdowns and only 13 picks. Aaron Rodgers wanted to get where the getting was good, and the getting was good with the Jets, no longer with Green Bay. So now they have reloaded. They got some weapons out there. Obviously, my boy Alan Lazard, shout out to him, going out there, and they got McCole Hartman. They're going to have a squad because they already got some young, gifted players, especially on the offensive side as well. You could talk about that. So Garrett Wilson, along with those guys, going to be something special. Let's see how they play it up. Now, what is going on with Aaron Rodgers? Because Aaron Rodgers is trying to do something that mathematically I would bet against. Mathematically, it seems like it's going to be against Aaron Rodgers to go out there and make this team a real Super Bowl champion, let alone a contender. Let's be real about it. 18 years of ups and downs, or whatever you want to call it, in Green Bay, and one championship. Now, you're on the tail end of your career, potentially. Is this going to allow all of a sudden awaken a new Aaron Rodgers? He going to play as long as Tom Brady, if not longer? Or is this just a nice little honeymoon, nice little sunset for him, and then it's going to be over? But are you going to win a championship that fast with this roster? I would bet against it. I don't see it. I mean, Miami seems like still the toast of that division along with Buffalo. Those two teams right there. Buffalo addressed that running game is going to be a real problem for everybody. But the Jets at least got juice. And that's all you need, is if you're the Jets, to believe in this young talent. Now with a veteran champion at the most important position, everybody going to be fired up. Especially, my guy, Fireman Ed. It's going down out there in Jet Stadium. Look forward to seeing it this year. Coming up next on Never Shut Up. Oh, man, it's full episode time. It's time to talk about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts at the podium. Oh, and already he's making some comments that made me say, okay, this is what we doing right here. He want to talk about money and championships. Let's see what's the priority. That's next on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reese TV. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. It's your boy Marcellus, Wiley. Full episode time. Just want to talk about somebody that I am a big fan of. My man, Jalen Hurts, for many reasons. One, obviously, the road to where he is right now, because it wasn't linear in terms of his success, right? He has some ups and downs on that roller coaster, and we saw him respond, and what a lesson. Such inspirational watching him just go out there and always respond to whatever they put in front of him and overachieve based on low expectations when we know the boy is uber talented and he's proven everybody wrong that bets against him. I love that. Okay, but then he had a press conference yesterday, and I said, I love this too, because I know Jalen Hurts, a leader, a man's man. Like Jalen Hurts is the one in the room who displays that leadership, who holds everyone up to a higher standard of character. Just seems that way, right? And they asked Jalen Hurts how he feels about being the highest paid player in the league. And Jalen Hurts answered it in Jalen Hurts fashion. We know what that is. One, he always has these like buttoned up Hurtsisms, right? Like these like little Wileyisms he puts out there that are amazing. But also, it's always something to make you think he's taking the high road. Love it. So they say, how you feel since you're the highest paid player in the league? And he says, well, quote, money is nice, championships are better, end quote. And that gave me a little pause, even though I knew that would be something that would come from Jalen Hurts. I want to talk about that a little bit because I know he's telling the truth. Just not the whole truth, nothing but the truth. You know, one of those, like he's not lying. But it's interesting how athletes especially are put in a position where they can't come off as self-serving, selfish, or even actually receiving what they've earned. Like it's always this ultimate deflection to others, right? Even in a great game, you can see a guy go out there and run for 400 yards. And literally the first thing he's going to say, well, not only do I got to thank my offensive line, I'm like, duh, I give you that. They made them big holes. But then he starts saying, oh, yeah, also I want to thank the receivers who were running down the field. Like, they ain't really blocked, but whatever. Thank the coaches for the play calling. Thank the defense for getting them off the field. I was like, when you going to thank you, dog? Like, I saw you make 9 people miss on one play. It wasn't the O-line who helped on that play. And it's just like we are conditioned. Sometimes you thank people that didn't even have anything to do with it, right? You start thanking the equipment man. Like, that day, he hooked the cleats up. Like, it's just like, okay, I get it. That's what keeps the wheel turning and really keeps people from lighting you up because now you seem like you're about yourself. I was all right, I get it. But then it made me think like, what came first? Championship or money for Jalen Hurts? Obviously, it's the money. Now, money came first, and money is the reason why we're even having this press conference. But he's saying, this is great, this is nice, but championships are better. But are they really better than getting yours? Think about it. Let's just first start off with extremes, all right? So would you rather be an underpaid champion or an overpaid non-champion? I'll take the latter. Overpaid, as soon as you say overpaid, I stop listening. What do you say? But seriously, what would you guys rather be? An underpaid champion or an overpaid non-champion? Think about it. Now, that could be extreme. I'm not talking about right there like, you were so close. I'm saying, nah, you're not really making what you should make, but you all of a sudden got this team ring. And it's funny because I feel that the facts and the actions speak for themselves in this. All these athletes going around talking about team, that's in pursuit. That championship is in pursuit of getting the purse, of getting the bag, of getting that dough, right? Now, if you can have both, you won. You actually won. But if you had to choose a role right now, you're in your pursuit for your championship, and then it veers off. Championship goes this way, that dough goes that way. Which way you're going? I don't know. I don't know for y'all, but I know for me, I am following them doughs. I'm following the chips. So it's a crazy moment because Jalen Hurts is in a position where he has to say these things, even though in those negotiations, they didn't stop before he was the highest paid player ever. Think about it. Like, we know that we got the Patrick Mahomes deal out there, but that's kind of wanky and it's so long, it's hard to consider. But Jalen Hurts got the money, $255 million, right? So if the conversation behind closed doors is, nah, he deserves this. Oh, no, you know that these young guns are coming. Burrow's going to get paid. We already know that Justin Herbert's going to get paid. We know Lamar's going to get paid, etc. Like, don't play around. Trevor Lawrence is coming. Give him his money and give him a lot. All right. Now, you can say it's team friendly all you want. And yeah, it's not going to destroy their cap because he said it best. It takes a village. But still, why is he getting put in that position to say something that we know in negotiations obviously wasn't said, because the dude's the highest paid player in the game? Man, it's kind of crazy because I don't see other professions really having to go up there and say these things and justify it. Tell me if I'm wrong, right? You're sitting there, Bill Gates, when he was the CEO of Microsoft, and Bill Gates in the position to justify the money he got, he has to talk about the market value of the company and the cap market value. And it wasn't always linear. It's like, no, the company's doing well, I'm going to do well. That's how the game goes. Like, we almost won the Super Bowl. I'm Jalen Hurts. Can I not get mine? Why don't fans, or why doesn't the media want to hear the real message? Because the real message is these guys are trying to eat, and these guys deserve to eat. It's almost like this. They don't want you to talk about it, and maybe not talking about it will make some of these guys not think about it. And then next thing you know, there's this spirit of take less, even though your owner who writes the check does never take less. He never is thinking about less. He is making those hot dogs more expensive every single weekend, right? Soda every year I go to the stadium, I'm like, damn, how much is soda? And it ain't nothing but colored water. I'm like, dog, this is colored water with sugar, and you over here, I see how y'all make this syrup over there. And every year, what, the syrup costs more, is going up, right? Everybody's making more. But then when the athlete makes more, you better not talk about it. They don't even put the owners in that position where they're saying, okay, show us which way, right? It's just kind of crazy. Now, I know there are some cheap owners out there that obviously that's why they haven't won a championship. They don't properly resource their team. But there's also some owners that spin. Steve Ballmer's coming to mind right now, and nothing for it. But do you have to pick? Do you have to pick? He's spending his money. And then the athletes who get the money, all of a sudden they have to be defensive about getting the money that they've earned. Kind of a weird, wanky dynamic, I think, in the mentality of sports culture. So looking at it all is it's like this guilt of getting it if you're an athlete. I just wanted to really unlock that for Jalen Hurts. And I would have been fine if Jalen Hurts said, look, I think I've done a great job with this team in terms of the position we're in, and the sky's the limit, and what's in front of us is bright. And guess what? I'm a part of that, so I get a lot of that. I'll be like, yeah, that's more real than saying, well, money's nice, championships are better. Even though there's nothing wrong with that, we know it ain't all right. All right, that'll do it for today's episode of Never Shut Up. Psych! We're going to do a Wileyism again, but I'm trying to save my throat. So when I do that, that means I'm trying to get out of saying Wileyism. Got a coach tonight. I got the 7-year-olds in basketball. You only get it if you go through it. You only get to it if you go through it. That's how you say it, damn it. Woo! It's crazy. You only get to it if you go through it. It's not just about the process. It's not. It's not just about you got to go step by step, maybe skip a step. Be careful skipping that step because you didn't learn from that step. You might be right back at that same step, but you got to go through process. Process is easy to digest from this, right? You only get to it if you go through it. How about the adversity that's built in there as well? Always imagine your course in front of you, not like the open race, not like a straight 100 meters. It's the 110 hurdles. You always gonna have hurdles to deal with, right? And you're only gonna get to it if you go through it. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to encourage and inspire you guys to go through it. And when you do it, it's okay to say, damn it, I did it. Remember when Snoop got his star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood? And he said, I like to thank me. Yeah. He said, because I'm the one that put in those hours. I'm the one that believed. I'm the one that didn't quit. Like, it's okay. And, that's why I was going with Jalen Hurts a little bit. Like, Damn, man, in this moment, they trying to make you suppress all that you work for. Remember, you're the guy that got benched in college. Remember, you're the guy that had to transfer in college. Remember, you were the guy that they didn't think could replace Carson Wentz. Remember, you were still on the depth chart as a number 2, maybe the franchise quarterback. Depends on how you play. They made you earn everything you got. And then now you in a position where you did that. Man, you better claim that. So it's love. So remember this, no matter what it is, no matter what you want to attain, you only get to it if you go through it. That'll do it today for our episode of Never Shut Up. Finally, right? I'm starting to lose myself. Oh, man, I appreciate you guys. Check out Brinks TV. Brinks TV for all the merch, for all the content. Oh, we got a new interface going up this weekend. Y'all gonna see us. We're gonna look even fresher over here. Love you guys for all the support. Thank you for joining Wiley's World and membership. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Peace.